Hey Plant Pals, this is Mike the Chaotic Gardener, and this video is on what happens when you're chaotic. What happened was, this was the almost 4-year-old bonsai cherry tomato plant that was producing tons and tons of cherries for me, cherry tomatoes for me. I was trimming, it was getting really unwieldy. It was growing so fast and so much that it was getting unwieldy and kind of flopping over, and I was going to use the light bar and these little plant, I guess you call them like twist ties or whatever, to hold the plant up. And so I figured, well, I'll cut off some of the vines, that aren't producing and growing so great. And of course, what did I do? I snipped the main vine of the plant, killing it. So I took a bunch of cuttings. These are just cuttings of it. I don't know if they're going to produce or not. These are some of the not as great looking cuttings that I just stuck back in the system. And now that the only reason I was keeping this dead system and not having something else in its place, because it's very shallow, as you can see to like the AeroGarden next to it, you can see how deep the AeroGarden is compared to this unit. And it has no pump. It never came with a pump. I guess they didn't back then felt you needed a pump for the water. And then the light burned out right away, which bummed me out. So I had to use my own lights, the clip-on lights in the back here. And I put an air stone from a fish tank to agitate the water so I don't have standing water, which is fine if you're doing cracky style. It's a viable method of growing, and I do it a lot in jars. But I want to have the agitated water. This is just parsley. This was a parsley that came from my system that had died. That is, I harvested it like a day ago. And it's already going insane. I also harvested this basil like a day ago. And so I'll probably either move these to a different system, or I'll just start over. Like, basil and parsley are so easy to grow hydroponically that the effort of moving these to their own jars or into a new system, within a month I can have just the same in a clean, brand new system. But I haven't really decided yet. And that's the great part about it, is I have the option to do whatever I want. So, if these cuttings root, I will put them in a new system. And I'll put the new system here. And I'll show you the progress of it. Probably put one of my new favorite systems is that Zimhoo, ZMHOO. I'll probably set that up here. I have an AeroGarden I got for Black Friday, but I'm going to save that because for spring, because I have the seed starting deck on it, and I know I'll get too attached to whatever I start growing in it now. If I put the tomatoes in there and they really take off, I won't want to move or remove them to put the seed starting deck on there for my outside garden in the spring. So, yeah, I've got the options and choices. Move this light back down for it, and I'll be right back. This guy here is a cutting I took from it. It does seem to be having new growth already. It's only been like a day, and it seems to be happy in its little jar here. And up above, here are all the cuttings I took off of it that looked good, and I have them in water. So I'm trying to, I'm not pushing these down. They kind of floated up. They need to be in the water in order to get the roots. So I'm going to try to root these so I can grow a new bonsai cherry tomato plant. Be right back. And here are a few of the tomatoes that I saved from the plant. And hopefully they'll, well, this one definitely will ripen for me. Hopefully these ones will too, because I really enjoy them. But again, even if I started the plant from seed, and I only use like I bought a pack of like 15 seeds, and I used 2 to start the original plant. It then went out and grew it in a jar. So that was one of my first videos was the jar that had that, and then I took cuttings off of it in the springtime and put them outside. So it's kind of the plant that keeps on giving. But I had a ton of the seeds left. Plus, I've been saving seeds from the tomatoes that I have been eating. So I could start the plant over from scratch, and in 3 months have a whole new flourishing plant. So I don't have to rely on cuttings, but it's kind of fun. It's kind of a challenge to see if you can get it to produce. All right, so that's my tale of sadness. Like I said, I'm always doing something chaotic, such as killing my 4-year-old tomato plant for no reason, just as it was really taking off and flourishing, you know, back from the brink of being dead. Of course, I chaotically ruined that, but that's what gardening does. Gardening keeps you humble. I don't feel, I'm a little bummed out about it because, I put 4 years into it. But again, it was a determinate variety that was supposed to produce its first batch of tomatoes and then die. And it kept on growing and growing. So, like I said, it's been 4 years, so can't ask for much more than that. So yeah, and I'm not so excited to, put something new in its place. And if these cuttings take off, or if I take the seeds out of one of these and start a new plant, I'll be able to follow. It'll still be a part of my house. It'll still be a legacy of the original plant. All right. Any comments, questions? Leave in the comments section. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have an awesome day.